MTC 10. Gateway. Why does the pure acting of the movies not seem unnatural to the audience, who, after all, are accustomed in real life to people whose expression is more or less indistinct? Most people's perception in these matters is not very sharp. They are not in the habit of observing closely the play of features of their fellow men either in real life or at the movies. They are satisfied with grasping the meaning of what they see. Thus, they often take in the overemphasized expression of film actors more easily than any that is too naturalistic. And as far as lovers of art are concerned, they do not look at the movies for imitations of nature but for art. They know that artistic representation is always explaining, refining, and making clear the object depicted. Things that in real life are imperfectly realized, merely hinted at, and entangled with other things appear in a work of art complete, entire, and free from irrelevant matters. This is also true of acting in film. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC 10. Exercise 1. I have known several negotiators guilty of hubris. They often dig their own graves because once they have made a take it or leave it offer, they can't tolerate the thought of losing face by returning to the table. You may argue that it's important to display toughness and resolve to the other side. However, earning a reputation for being tough doesn't serve you well at the negotiation table. Indeed, a reputation as a tough negotiator leads to a number of highly undesirable outcomes. For example, counterparties will treat you with greater suspicion and act much tougher than they normally would. In an investigation of how bargaining reputation affects how others treat you, Kathy Tinsley found that tough guys finish last, meaning that people negotiate more aggressively with those who have a reputation for toughness. Kathy Tinsley. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC 10. Exercise 2. The sale of street food is a widespread form of self-employment for the poor and otherwise unemployed in cities in developing countries. It requires relatively basic skills and small amounts of capital, and provides the vendors' families with a reasonable income. It also provides food security to the urban poor, who may not have the assets to prepare their own meal. It has been estimated that in India alone, there are more than 10 million street vendors, and some studies say they constitute around 2% of the population of the major metropolises. 2%. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC. In developed countries, food carts and trucks can be a gateway for trained chefs who do not have the resources to launch a brick-and-mortar restaurant. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC 10. Exercise 3. We have seen many examples of primate societies in which other community members lend parents a hand with childcare. In many pre-industrial societies, parents receive even more help when they have too many children to raise. Foster care of young, or temporary adoption, is a common solution for families in pre-industrial societies who have too many children. Fostering differs from adoption in that the bond between biological parents and children is not terminated. The child goes to its foster parents after weaning, but can return to its biological parents at any time if the arrangement doesn't work out. Biological parents continue to interact with children they have fostered out and remain concerned about them, but allow another family to raise them. In this way, children do not lose their biological parents and are raised by individuals who are better able to care for them. Permanent adoption, with the complete separation of the parent-child bond, is rare in these societies. MTC. Good job. Let's start. MTC 10. Exercise 4. One of the persistent myths of mainstream society is that the knowledge we study in schools is factual and neutral. Yet we know that knowledge evolves over time and is dependent on the moment in history and the cultural reference point of the society that accepts it. Thinking critically involves more than just acquiring new information in order to determine which facts are true and which false. It also involves determining the social, historical, and political meaning given to those facts. This determination includes assessing the investment various groups may have in furthering or challenging those meanings in any particular historical moment. For example, there was a time when it was not widely understood that the Earth is round. Common sense might tell us that it is flat, and anyone looking out over a vast landscape would have this sense confirmed. Yet when scientific reasoning and more accurate technological methods for measuring the Earth emerged, the knowledge or fact that the Earth is flat was rewritten. MTC. Good job.